H, yeah, S, yeah, C, yeah, oh.
Welcome, everybody. This is Joe Gilder from HomeStudioCorner.com, and I'm really excited today to tell you about the HSC Production Club. This is something I've been planning for several months now. You can ask a lot of my friends. I've been working on this, trying to figure out the best way to pull this off and to provide a ton of value to my readers, and I think I've come up with something pretty exciting. So the whole gist of the entire project is for me to show you the production process from start to finish. I've had a lot of my readers ask, hey, can you show me just the basic steps of doing an entire recording? And that's a great question, and it's one that can't really be covered on the blog as easily, so I think a production club is the best way to do that. So you may be asking, what exactly is the HSC Production Club? Well, it's a 12-week online training course. So over the course of 12 weeks, we're going to hit all the major points of doing a full-on production. As I said before, you're going to learn the production process from start to finish, from a song idea with just a guitar and a vocal all the way to a finished master. You're also going to interact. Now that is probably the biggest point, and the thing I'm the most excited about the production club is the interaction. If you were to go buy a DVD, say a Pro Tools training DVD, chances are it'll come in the mail, you'll watch it, you'll get hopefully a ton of good information out of that, but then afterward, you can't ask any questions. And the way it's set up is, you watch it, you get some benefit, and hopefully any questions you have will be answered maybe by buying another DVD or something like that. Now, I have nothing against these training DVDs. Some good friends of mine actually produce some stellar Pro Tools tutorials, so they're awesome. But if you do want to ask questions, you're not going to get that with those. What I'm so excited about with the Production Club is that you'll be interacting with me the whole time. You'll be able to ask me questions. If I do a video about editing and you still have some questions about the Smart Tool, you can ask me and we can get in there and I can tell you exactly, fill in the blanks that are missing and the things that you really want to know. And then finally, we're going to improve your recordings. That's obviously, the point of this is not so you know Pro Tools inside and out. The point of this is so you know it well enough to get really good recordings. So what will it include? Well, we're going to have weekly content, and that's going to consist of, first off, videos. And if you've been around Home Studio Corner for long, you know that I like to do these tutorial videos. And they're a lot of fun, and they've gotten to be really popular. And usually they range anywhere from 5 to 8 minutes or so. There's a couple that are a little bit longer, but I try to cover one topic and cover it in a relatively short amount of time. Well, for this is a more in-depth dive into the whole production process. So you're going to be getting a ton of video content from me. We're talking probably in the area of an hour a week of video for you to watch. And it'll all be just no filler material. It's just me going through the process. There'll also be a decent amount of written content. When I asked the question on the blog a week or two ago, how do you like to learn? A lot of you responded by saying we love videos, but we also like to have something written, something we can look at and refer back to when we have questions. So some weeks there'll be more written content than others. Some weeks there'll be more video than written stuff. It'll just depend on the week and kind of how things are going. All right, there are a couple extras as well. The first being webinars. Now, if you're not familiar with what a webinar is, it's basically an online seminar or a classroom where we will all gather together at a certain time, maybe at like 8 o'clock on a Thursday night, and you'll be able to see me at my computer. You'll also be able to see my screen, and you'll be able to ask questions. So this goes back to that interaction part that I'm so excited about. If you have particular questions about some content that you just downloaded and watched through and you have a few questions, write those down, and when the webinar comes around, you can ask those, and I'll answer them for you and also for everybody else, so everyone gets the benefit of having that question answered. And in addition to the webinars, we're going to have a members-only forum section. Now, you may already be familiar with the forums that I've already set up. It's at homestudiocorner.com/forums, and here's a screenshot of that, and you'll notice at the top there's an extra group for HSC Production Club. When you sign up and become a member, I'll give you access into that special members-only section. And in there, we'll be able to discuss during the week different questions that you have, different issues that you're running into. You'll be able to ask me questions and also be able to interact with the other group members and make everyone better. I found in recording, if I have someone to bounce ideas off of, not only just someone who's teaching me, but also people who are doing the same thing that I'm doing, it's immensely helpful. So you'll be able to ask questions. We can even post audio clips if we want and critique each other's work. We can also interact with the classmates. Okay, so the weekly topics. I'm going to briefly go through the 12 weeks, and so you can have a rough idea of what it's going to cover. Week 1 is going to be pre-production. Pre-production is the planning phase. That's when you plan out everything from the arrangement to the instrumentation, to little details like how many measures the intro is going to be, all those kind of things. It may not be the most exciting topic, but for me, I love pre-production because that's when all the big ideas come to me, and then the rest of the process, steps 2 through 12, are just me realizing those ideas that I've come up with. Week 2 and 3, we're going to get into recording. Week 2 will just be kind of the first steps of getting into recording and setting things up. Week 3, we're going to finish up and record all the rhythm section. That's guitars, bass, keyboards, things like that. Week 4, we're going to take a break from recording and switch over to MIDI because I want to talk about MIDI in general so you understand how it works, but also MIDI programming for drums is pretty important for a lot of home studio owners, and so we're going to do that as well. Week 5, we'll get back into more recording. We'll finish up recording the leads and also any extra production, things like percussion and things like that that'll add a lot to the finished mix. Week 6 and 7, we're going to deal with editing. So week 6, we'll deal with comps, and week 7, we're going to deal with pocketing, which is tightening up the timing of a performance to tighten everything up together. It's a cool thing, and you may not know what it is at first, but we'll dive into it, and you'll have a good idea. Week 8, we're going to get into editing vocals and also into tuning some vocals. All right, for the last 4 weeks, we're going to be finishing up. Weeks 9 through 11 will be mixing. So week 9, we're going to mix drums and bass. Week 10, we're going to mix the rest of the instruments. And week 11, we're going to focus specifically on vocals and also on automation. And then finally, week 12, we're going to master everything. So as you can see, it's going to be a lot of material. You're going to be getting this every week and be able to work through that. And I don't say that to overwhelm you. That's not what I want to do. I just want you to rest assured that if you become a member and you join up, you're going to get a lot of step-by-step content that's going to lead you through the process. And by the end of it, you will have made leaps and bounds in your recording, quote-unquote, career. The big point I want to get across is that none of this stuff that I'm going to show you is rocket science. And to be completely honest, you could figure all of this out on your own. You could get Pro Tools, set up a recording system, and just take a couple years and do it nonstop every week, day after day, night after night, and you're going to learn this stuff. Most of you probably don't have the time to do that, and you just want to get a head start. You want someone to show you who's already gone through the process and made a lot of mistakes, because I've made a ton of mistakes, and I'll help you through the process and show you what to do and where to do it. Now, obviously, if you follow my rules step by step, I'm not guaranteeing amazing recordings every time, but I'm going to give you the framework within which you can work and make better recordings. Thanks again for watching this video. I hope you'll consider being a part of the HSC Production Club.
Oh, oh.